covers an AP problem dealing with velocity graphs. We chose to do the problem 2008 AP Calculus AB Free Response question number 5. When people do this problem, they tend to mess up when interpreting the graph because they believe it's g instead of g prime, but it specifically says right here that it is g prime of x. And also the terminology of the question may be a little bit confusing. It may be a continuous function with g2 equaling 5. The graph of the piecewise linear function g prime, the derivative of g, is shown above for -3 to 7. Part A. Find the x-coordinate of all points of inflection of the graph of y equals g of x for the interval -3 to 7, and then justify your answer. To find all points of inflection, you need to find when the graph is increasing, changes from increasing to decreasing, or decreasing to increasing. So if you look at the graph, from -3 to -1, it is increasing. And from -1 to 1, it is also increasing. So -1 cannot be a point of inflection. And then if you look at 1 to 4, the graph is decreasing. And since from -1 to 1, the graph is increasing, and then from 1 to 4, it's decreasing, 1, 1 is a point of inflection. Then if you look at 4 to 7, the graph is increasing. And before that, from 1 to 4, the graph was decreasing. So if x equals 4 is also a point of inflection. So for your answer, you would do x equals 4 and x equals 1 are points of inflection. So how to write this? You would do points of inflection are at x equals 1 because g prime of x changes from increasing to decreasing, and also a point of inflection at x equals 4 because g prime of x changes from decreasing to increasing. 2. Find the average rate of change of g prime of x on the interval -3 to 7. Does the mean value theorem applied on the interval -3 to 7 guarantee a value of c for -3 to 7 such that g double prime of c is equal to this average rate of change? Why or why not? The terminology for this question may be a little confusing because the average rate of change means to find the slope. So if you were to find the slope, we chose points 7, 1 and -3, 4. So when you find the slope, you know that the slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So when you plug in these two, you get -4 minus 1 all over -3 minus 2, which is 1/2. So to write this in AP problem, you have to write 1/2 as the average rate of change for g prime of x on the interval -3 to 7. So this sounds better because you sound like you know what you're doing. Just stop. Part of the question asks if the mean value theorem guarantees a value for c on the interval -3 to 7. So in order to figure this out, you have to look back at the graph of g prime of x. So if you see from 1, 1 is a corner, as well as 4, -2 is a corner. So that means that the derivative of this equation doesn't exist. So you cannot say this for an AP question, so you have to say differentiable. So the correct answer would be, no, the mean value theorem does not guarantee a value for c for -3 to 7 because g prime is not differentiable.